On August 15th, the Filipino-American Symphony Orchestra FASO will offer Ode to Summer and Orchestral celebration at the Cathedral of Our Lady of the Angels. The event will feature Filipino-American singer and The Voice final winner Sofronio Vasquez as the featured performer. As the rising star and former Tawaging Tanghalan star whose story has moved Filipino-Americans and others all over the world, this concert will be his only U.S. appearance with a full orchestra this year. With the submission of an email address, I confirm that I have read the privacy policy and that I am agreeing to the terms of service. Following his victory on The Voice, Vasquez had previously stated, "I've always dreamed of performing with a full symphony orchestra." His work with FASO, an organization that promotes youth music education and protects Filipino musical traditions, has made that ambition a reality. The 70-member FASO Orchestra, under the direction of the acclaimed founding conductor Robert Schroeder, will perform a diverse and exciting program that includes works by Gunod, sacred compositions by Mozart, and beloved pop songs from the Philippines and the United States, among other composers and performers. The University of Santo Tomas Singers alumni, who reunited for a special one-night performance under founder Fidel Calalang, and the St. Genevieve Valiant Voices Choir, an award-winning youth group led by Christopher Avendano, are joining Vasquez in this tribute to heritage and harmony. The St. Genevieve Valiant Voices Choir recently had a strong performance at the World Choir Games 2024. In addition to being a concert, Ode to Summer is a cause. Donations will support FASO's music education programs for youth, which have been hit hard by budget cuts from the federal government. Even though it's in its 17th season, FASO's mission to promote Filipino-American music and keep the Philippines' musical heritage alive continues unabated. It helps about 500 students a year with workshops in areas like vocal development, composition, performance, musicianship, and instrumental instruction. With performances at the Pasadena Civic Auditorium, the Ford and Walt Disney Concert Hall, among California's most esteemed venues, FASO has introduced Filipino classical and contemporary music to audiences spanning generations. On a beautiful evening in Los Angeles, music enthusiasts came together to witness a performance that would be remembered for a very long time. The most recent performance by the Filipino-American Symphony Orchestra FASO, titled Ode to Summer, included the dazzling vocals of rising tenor Sofronio Vasquez and was filled with nostalgia, warmth, and the orchestra's signature sound. Vasquez really flew with his charisma, charismatic stage presence, and vocal skill. An evening of celebrated music. More than just a concert, Ode to Summer at the historic John Wayne Performing Arts Center was an emotional jubilation of the season's beauty, joy, and warmth. Under Robert Schroeder's expert direction, FASO performed a performance filled with sweeping orchestration, beloved Filipino songs, Broadway medleys, and moving odes to love and the natural world. The evening's emotional center, though, was Sofronio Vasquez, who wore a sophisticated barong with a contemporary spin. The crowd was spellbound the moment he stepped onto the stage. Recognizing the cultural significance of performing with the world's only Filipino symphony orchestra outside of the Philippines, he introduced his first piece with thanks, smiling quietly and exuding humility. The power of music to move the spirit. A haunting Visayan ballad of yearning and loss, Yusahe, was Vasquez's opening number. Delicate in its wording yet forceful in its emotional pull, his delivery was powerfully felt. It was obvious that this wasn't merely a show, it was narrative through music as his voice echoed across the theater. After that, he gave the Sinatra classic Summer Wind a whole new spin. Compared to the melancholy Yusahe, the carefree Summer Wind is a welcome change. As the jazzy undertone of the arrangement changed, Vasquez's tone shifted, highlighting his versatility. Following that, Chess's emotional performance of Anthem was the evening's biggest surprise. In this moment, Vasquez unleashed a raging fury, his conviction trembling the very walls. The first of numerous standing ovations was earned when the high notes sounded clear and rebellious. The ideal match for FASO. Opera houses and worldwide stages are no strangers to Sofronio Vasquez, but his cooperation with FASO was truly remarkable. Every performance had a cinematic quality thanks to the perfect harmony between his voice and the expansive orchestral arrangements. "It's not often that an ensemble feels this intimate," Vasquez remarked backstage. "FASO is about more than simply music. It's also about connection, pride, and legacy. I am deeply moved by this concert for that reason. It was a two-way street of affection." Vasquez was lauded by Maestro Robert Schroeder for his professionalism, modesty, and vocal prowess. According to Schroeder, Sofronio adds passion to all of his endeavors. "When he sings, it's as if he's singing our collective history, our collective story, and our common identity, honoring the Filipino heritage." A mix of traditional Filipino love songs was dedicated by Vasquez to his parents and grandparents, who immigrated to the U.S. decades ago. "It was a touching moment that moved many to tears. The tunes he heard as a child inspired them," he said. "They bring to mind the hardships endured by my ancestors and the splendor of our heritage." The tender, romantic, and incredibly controlled rendition of Ika that he gave stood out. His voice radiated classic grace as the orchestra built behind him. The performance brought tears to the eyes of many in the crowd, especially the elderly Filipino Americans for whom the songs had profound resonance. A goosebumps everywhere reaction from the audience. The audience was enthralled by Ode to Summer the entire performance. Every time Vasquez stepped up to the microphone, though, the atmosphere exploded. It was so intense that it gave one person chills, according to another. Not only is Sofronio's voice stunning, but it also has a narrative quality. With each chord, he imbues it with feeling. Another audience member remarked, "I've seen him perform before, but tonight was different. There was something transcendent about it. He was born for this stage." Social media lit up with clips, praise, and calls for Vasquez to return for another FASO event or even headline his own solo concert. More than a concert, a cultural moment. Beyond its artistic merits, Ode to Summer was a powerful reminder of the importance of representation and community in classical and orchestral music. For many Filipino Americans in the audience, the night was more than entertainment, it was a celebration of identity and pride. FASO continues to champion Filipino musical heritage in a way no other ensemble does, and with artists like Sofronio Vasquez leading the way, the next generation of Filipino-American musicians has a powerful role model to look up to. What's next for Sofronio Vasquez? With a sold-out concert under his belt and the praise of critics and fans alike, Sofronio Vasquez is a name to watch. Insiders say he's in talks to appear in upcoming symphony collaborations and may be releasing a debut solo album featuring a blend of classical Broadway and OPM original Filipino music. He's also rumored to be returning to the operatic stage in Europe early next year, but for now he's staying grounded and focused on his mission, to inspire through song. "I just want to keep singing songs that mean something," Vasquez said. "Whether it's in English, Tagalog, Italian, or Visayan, I want people to feel something." Final encore, A Star Ascends. As the evening came to a close, Vasquez returned for one final encore, The Impossible Dream. And fittingly, it brought the house down. The lyrics, already iconic, felt even more poignant coming from an artist who is living his own dream, one built on tradition, talent, and heart.